Kenya sees himself as a technique gigantic in Africa and has engulfed the moniker Silica Savannah. Now it has set up a specific crew to see in how to get benefit of the newest technologies such as synthetic intellect and blockchain. A blockchain is a shared database in a demonstrable, verifiable, and verifiable recording of all changes. Synthetic intellect, artificial intelligence, is the use of machine system to execute tasks usually demand humane intellect. Data Secretary Joseph Mucheru, the man who the crew will paper to, says how, amongst some uses, blockchain could assist organize Earth accounting records saved by the government, that are a continuous resource of disappointment for human beings who wish to purchase, sell or check data on Earth. Possession. A Name Act in Kenya does not definitely warranty property since fraudsters in cahoots in Earth officials include been named to changing Earth accounting records. In reality, to pillar their Earth property claims for possessing a certification, lot Kenyans color the Earth is not for selling on their characteristic to alert off capacity Earth grabbers. In 2015, Kenyans observed a sad sight while school students of a social initial high school in the Equity, Nairobi, were teardrop gas time deprecating versus attempts by a top-in to seize the high school's sports ground. Accountable told how the high school did not include a name act. The confronting led activists to shape the Shule Yangu Association, a blood pressure team, whose purpose, it says, is to include 10,000 social schools given in name affair and fences constructed about 5,000 schools. At the period, informal of the Earth Committee informed all country institutions, that are normally lightweight targets for Earth grabbers, to get name affair but as well to put up fences. If Earth accounting records were posted in an unchanging blockchain, adopters tell, it would assure human beings how their accounting records are untouched and how the name affair they own matchstick by the government accounting records. On to Mr. Mucheru, the plate provides safety, effectiveness and clarity. Kane Wanja, the technique official at Twijia Foods, a Kenya-based meal allocation business, says, in a relation wherever two parties don't confidence every sum, later blockchain makes feeling. The business newly announced a association in IBM study to build digital profiles of unofficial little-scale traders, to be saved in a blockchain, to assist them accessing letter of credit. 70% of Kenyans job in the farming segment but just 2% get letter of credit of banks. We wish to build an unchanging, reliable, database of the vendors and suppliers we transactions in to assist them, and banks to include accessing to data they can use to conduct negotiations. Letter of credit, Mr. Wanja adds. Source, Planet Banking, KNBS, ICT Executive Board. June Ogle, of Technique website TechWiz, says how the talk should not be bounded to the technique but should as well involve human beings as confidentiality and information protect. The is a big anxiety examining the nation was trapped up in the fracas comprising UK business Cambridge Analytica, that is charged of with human beings as private information undertaken of Facebook, out of permit, for its contentious micro-targeting poll campaigning policy. Kenya's basic law guarantees the order to confidentiality but its parliament is yet to undergo a law how gives unequivocal protect. Mr. Mucheru, who leftward technology gigantic Google to accede by the government, says how the lack of laws should be seen as an prospect to induce innovate. He has, for copy, been a supporter of trade in Bitcoin, the very flying and uncontrolled cryptocurrency that operates on a blockchain plate, although the nation's center banking governor has outlined it as a Ponzi schema. Blockchain is as well creature advertised as a probable decision to different challenges in some countries in Africa. Mr. Mucheru dismisses concerns how Kenya has some press as necessary to transactions in, proverb how not putting in the new technologies now would just keep the nation at a inconvenience. We already include human beings who are written software program for independent drones and experimenting in synthetic intellect and how quantity will just increase, he says. We wish to be the freelancing staff of the planet, he adds. In spite his hopefulness, down there are signs anywhere how it will get a length period for Kenya to completely sense the effect of artificial intelligence-powered micro-robots in their everyday lives. For sample, hundreds of Kenyans yet job as pump service staff at gasoline stations through the nation, a job how could readily be automatic. Mr. Mucheru insists how putting in AI technique will build new opportunities, although he admits how it will murder some jobs. Entrepreneurs love Mary Mwangi, of Information Integration Bounded, stay upbeat on the next. The business startup a unit named MobileTill that urged to give finance accountable and safety to Kenya's anarchistic social buses named as Matatus. This unit uses sensors to path the bus and collects information on occupant numbers and ticketing to provide complete accountable, Ms. Mwangi says. Although the unit was constructed by regional software program developers, she says how down there are not quite engineering personnel in the nation to completely force an AI production. Yet we include a lot of forthcoming ability, she adds. The Technique Hub will sit on 5,000 acres of earth and urge to be the center of innovate that will draw top technique companies to set up store. If Konza Town turns out as planned, Kenya will very well up to its name of the Silica Savannah.